к медведю прыгнул. Пиздец, к медведю прыгнул. Я ебу.
Где пирожок? Иди сюда! На!
Go on. Go. In the wild, the line between curiosity and a deadly attack can vanish in a heartbeat. From an unsuspecting woman walking directly into the path of two charging bears to a hunter watched by a predator as it climbs his tree stand, these heart-pounding moments prove that one wrong move changes everything. If you were caught in a predator's sights, would you have the composure to make it out alive? At the beginning of this unsettling moment, a hunter is seen staying low against the ground, quietly tracking a young black bear. He readies his weapon and directs it toward the animal as it slowly comes nearer. At first, the bear passes right by him, but with the curiosity of a juvenile, it turns back for one last glance. Because of the hunter's calm control and experience, both sides leave without harm. This eerie footage starts with a bobcat caught in a leg-hold trap set by the person filming. He then tries to secure the animal with a catch pole, which quickly escalates into a struggle. The man and the wildcat grapple for several minutes, but as the bobcat begins to weaken, he changes his approach. After releasing the animal,
Come on. Act right. Here we go.
he attempts to revive it, which proves to be a major mistake when the predator suddenly reacts. These animals can behave like this at times.
They get like this sometimes.
Thankfully, both the man and the bobcat leave this intense and unsettling encounter without injury. In Arizona, a routine hunting trip with a group of dogs quickly turned into something far more unsettling. Curtis from the eHunter YouTube channel, along with his friends, picked what seemed like the ideal day to saddle their horses and head out. Everything went as expected until the dogs caught a scent and chased it all the way to the edge of a steep cliff. When the hunters moved in to investigate, they realized it was a powerful mountain lion. Unfortunately for the animal, it appeared to be stuck in a narrow crack in the rocks with no clear way out. For several minutes, the cougar remained in place, letting out chilling hisses as the dogs barked nonstop just a short distance away. It may also have been a warning display showing its sharp teeth. Eventually, the seasoned predator managed to force its way through a tight opening and sprinted up a nearby slope, disappearing back into the desert. If you ever come across a bear stay steady and decisive like this man, he used a stick to keep the animal at a distance, preventing it from moving any closer. Creating space and showing confidence can sometimes discourage an animal from advancing.
जामवंत जी को दे रहे हैं जिससे देखो इसको बहुत ज्यादा पसंद है इसको बहुत ज्यादा पसंद करते हैं कैसे पकड़ते हैं अरे देखो अच्छा ये वाला सोनू है हाँ वो वाला मोनू.
This man has more than 40 years of experience working with wild animals, so handling the bear didn't seem difficult for him. Without that level of knowledge, feeding a bear like this can be extremely dangerous. Would you take that risk? The ferret made a critical mistake by going after the man's pet. He reacted immediately and pushed it away. If someone threatened your pet, would you respond the same way? A woman was playing with her pet in her backyard when an antelope suddenly rushed in without warning. For a brief moment, the situation turned dangerous, but the charge missed. It all happened within seconds, and no one was injured. Would you have reacted in time? Climbing onto a roof might seem like a safe move, but to a brown bear it's just higher ground. Its claws can tear through shingles in seconds. If it chose to follow, what would you do? A couple was watching TV with their dog when it suddenly started barking. The woman stood up and noticed a snake nearby. The dog's alert changed everything. Do you think they would have seen it in time without that warning? A man assumes he can casually provoke a fully grown tiger. At first, the animal appears calm, lying still without reacting. But in a split second, instinct takes over. The tiger suddenly lunges and knocks him to the ground, turning the moment highly dangerous. Fortunately, a handler steps in before it can escalate further. One careless move nearly changes everything. Wild animals can shift in an instant. Do you think he truly understood that risk? Within seconds, the family's dog ran outside and placed itself between the threat and the children. In just a brief moment, the situation settled and everyone was safe. Instinct can move faster than fear. Do you think that reaction made the difference? A man is suddenly charged by a dog. He grabs a nearby table and uses it as a barrier, trying to create distance. But the dog quickly finds an opening and closes in, turning the situation chaotic. Acting on instinct, the man manages to restrain it while looking for a way out. Eventually, he forces the dog into the pool and moves toward a safer area. Thankfully, he escapes without serious injury. In moments like this, staying calm can make the difference. Would you have reacted that way? This is how bears behave. When they feel disturbed, they can quickly show their strength. They may seem calm at first, but keeping your distance is always the safer choice. Do you respect that space? A man suddenly finds himself face to face with a bear. The encounter surprises both of them, and for a brief moment, neither moves. Thankfully, the bear is the first to turn away and slowly leave the area. If the bear had reacted differently, what do you think would have happened? This man had raised the bear since it was a cub. After 3 years apart, he returned to see it again, but things were no longer the same. He entered the water and moved closer, trying to reconnect and show affection after all that time. What followed caught everyone off guard.
Медведю прыгнул. Пиздец, к медведю прыгнул. Я ебу. Дурак.
The bear suddenly moved toward him and forced him back, refusing to let him enter its space. After years apart, it no longer recognized him. Fortunately, the man quickly understood the shift in behavior and reacted in time, avoiding injury. What do you think about this encounter? When encountering a bear, stand tall and make yourself appear larger by using your voice. That kind of response can sometimes help prevent the situation from becoming more dangerous. This man made a critical mistake by leaving his vehicle to approach a bear. The animal clearly rejected his presence and charged each time he moved closer. Bears do not tolerate intrusions into their space. Ignoring that warning can quickly become dangerous. Taming a horse is never simple. In this moment, the situation turned tense, but he managed to get away safely. Working with powerful animals always comes with risk. Do you think it's ever truly safe?
Ушел! Ушел! Ушел!
When faced with a massive polar bear, even the calmest person can lose composure. The moment he saw it, the man turned and ran as fast as he could. If you suddenly found yourself that close to a polar bear, would you stand your ground or run? A group of tourists had a close encounter with an aggressive rhino during a safari. They noticed the animal by the roadside and stopped to watch, taking photos of the powerful creature. Suddenly, its behavior shifted. The rhino began stomping and showing clear signs of agitation. Without warning, it charged straight toward their vehicle. The moment was tense and frightening. Fortunately, just as it reached the car, the rhino stopped, turned away, and ran off into the distance. Do you think they were too close? In the heart of the African wilderness, a group of tourists experienced a tense moment while sitting inside their truck. A large rhino approached and fixed its gaze on them. Its body rigid and alert. It began stomping and snorting loudly, clearly showing signs of aggression. Despite the pressure, the group stayed still and avoided sudden movement. They remained calm as the animal continued its display. After a few long moments, the rhino appeared to reconsider. It relaxed, turned away, and moved off into the distance. Sometimes animals respond to movement and energy. Do you think their calm behavior changed the outcome? At the start of this footage, a bear is captured on camera entering a house through a window that had been left open while the owners were away. Throughout the clip, the animal moves from room to room, appearing to look for food. At one point, the bear is even seen awkwardly scratching itself against the edge of the kitchen counter. Fortunately for the family, the intruder eventually makes its way back outside before anyone returned home. A group of friends got the shock of a lifetime when they encountered a massive hungry predator searching for food along a rural road in Russia.
Давай покурим. Пирожок, где пирожок? Иди сюда.
The intense clip begins with a group filming a bear trying to get inside a parked but occupied truck. Despite the seriousness of the situation, they make so much noise attempting to get the animal's attention that it ends up moving toward them instead.
Иди сюда. Иди сюда. В руке останешься. Смотри, какой красивый. Иди сюда.
After the bear retreats into the bushes, the group unbelievably decides to follow it, even attempting to pet and feed it.
Ну это что-то дохлый какой-то, он тот по пище был. Вон мамаша, смотри, выходит. Что-то он какой-то злой.
At first, everything seems calm with the bear ignoring the driver. Yet, moments later, something unexpected happens. Shockingly, the driver's fingers remain unharmed, despite the incredibly reckless risk they took. What was meant to be a quick hike through Claremont Wilderness Park turned into a frightening encounter when hiker Chad Bruce came face to face with a massive grizzly. The video starts with a few light-hearted clips from his outing, but soon something unsettling appears behind him.
Baby fox. Hello.
Got a major bear. Holy crap.
A huge grizzly seems to be following him, and even though it's only a few feet away, the hiker manages to stay calm.
I really don't want to mess with him though. I kind of want to pet him like a little puppy.
After carefully creating enough distance to move past the animal, he continues along the trail, eventually warning another unsuspecting hiker nearby.
Better get off the trail, homie. Hey, there's a big bear right here. Just so you know, there's a big bear.
Fortunately, the bear remained calm, and no one was injured during the encounter. This chilling footage from Turkey begins with a man staring at something unusual in the distance. After a few moments, that unusual thing turns out to be the last animal he would want to encounter: a bear. The man quickly runs from the area, but his dog ends up confronting the predator in the snow. The two animals clash, but the bear eventually overpowers the dog. In the end, the bear remains alone in the frame, as the man has already escaped, and the dog eventually runs off as well. Nevertheless, the encounter is terrifying, and thankfully, everyone makes it out alive. What was meant to be a long drawn-out hunt nearly ended in the worst way possible when the hunter suddenly became the target. The terrifying encounter begins with the man filming a bear sniffing around beneath his small tree stand. Moments later, the predator fixes its attention on him and quickly begins climbing up with a threatening presence. Luckily, it turns back down, giving the hunter just enough time to grab his shotgun and bear spray.
Hey bear. Hey bear. Down bear. Get down.
Bracing for the worst, he prepares both as the animal makes another tense move. Thankfully, the hungry bear backs off and retreats, bringing the close call to an end. While hiking Mount Roberts in Juneau, Alaska, two men suddenly came face to face with a very curious black bear. The nerve-wracking footage begins with one of the hikers trying to scare the animal away while recording the encounter.
You got the camera? Yep, it's rolling. Well, that's cool. Hey. No. Go on.
Instead of running off as they expected, the predator keeps moving toward them at a steady pace, forcing the men to slowly back away.
Go on. Hey, fella. Go on. Go on.
The tense encounter continues for several minutes, but eventually the bear seems to lose interest and wanders into the nearby brush in search of food. Taking advantage of the moment, the hikers prepare their bear spray and watch for its next move.
And then, all right, well, let's keep going here. Let's give him a little bit of space.
Since the animal never charges, the two decide to continue with their hike. In northern Manitoba, YouTuber Frank Wolf and his wife had an unexpected visit from several polar bears that took a very unsettling turn. At first, they begin recording one of the animals, along with two others trailing behind it as they move toward the cabin from the river.
Right there, look at there, right in front of us here. Right here.
Unfortunately for them, the curious bear starts exploring the camp and suddenly begins chewing on their canoe.
Hey, he was right up in the, he was chewing on the canoe, this guy. Hey, don't chew on the canoe. Yeah, you get...
After several tense minutes, Frank decides to take action, rushing to grab his shotgun in hopes of driving the predators away. Thankfully, the animals eventually move off, leaving the couple shaken but safe. In Yellowstone National Park, a group of tourists nearly experienced a life-threatening moment after several bears became unpredictable. At the start of the video, the tourists can be seen walking alongside a bear family while crossing what appears to be a bridge. At first, the group simply picks up their pace, but when they realize the situation is escalating, they hurry toward the safety of their vehicles. For a moment, the bears seem to back off, but then turn around, forcing the film crew to retreat as well. Fortunately, both the visitors and the animals made it out of the tense encounter without harm. This nail-biting encounter begins with a family entering their home in a quiet setting. Moments later, two bears appear on camera walking past the house and disappearing to the other side of the alley. The most chilling moment unfolds when a woman completely unaware of the animals nearby steps outside. While trying to keep her balance on the slippery steps and lock the gate, the two bears suddenly move toward her. Fortunately, it was her lucky day she managed to escape and get back inside unharmed, avoiding what could have been a disaster. A man came face to face with a deadly situation after encountering a massive mother black bear with cubs hidden in the trees during his hike along the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. The tense encounter begins with him filming his walk when he suddenly freezes after noticing movement between the trees.
That wasn't a Florida bear. Oh, there he is right over here. All right, buddy. All right. There you are. I'm going.
After seeing the large bear staring back at him, he stops and carefully steps back a few inches to regain control.
Just see what this bear wants to do, because we're getting close to the point where I'm gonna have to use force.
Despite the danger, he chooses to continue forward as slowly as possible, hoping not to provoke the protective mother as he moves past.
I'm going this way. You just stay where you're at. There you go. There you go, buddy. You stay where you're at.
Thankfully, the bear allows him to continue on safely without incident. That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.